Lix here. Today we are taking a closer look at the Tower of London. It is a historic castle on the north bank of the River Thames in the centre of London. It has been a central part of English history for almost a millennium. Here are some representative stories related to the tower that I would like to share with you. What became a royal residence was initially a grand palace, but evolved into a place where monarchs would impress and intimidate their subjects and foreign ambassadors. It also became an infamous prison, holding illustrious prisoners like Anne Boleyn and Sir Thomas. Anne Boleyn was Queen of England from 1533 to 1536 as the second wife of King Henry VIII. According to witnesses, Henry VIII was in love with Anne, who is depicted here, when they first met. As the future queen, he had her executed in the Tower of London. Her murder is depicted here. The circumstances of her marriage and her execution by beheading for alleged treason made her a key figure in the political and religious upheavals that marked the beginning of the English Reformation. Sir Thomas More, depicted here, was an English lawyer, judge, social philosopher, author and statesman who served Henry VIII as Lord High Chancellor of England from October 1529 to May 1532. After refusing to acknowledge Henry as supreme head of the Church of England, Henry VIII considered him a traitor, sent him to the Tower of London and had him executed. The Tower was often the final stage for those who fell out of favour with the monarchy. These two young princes in the Tower are perhaps its most haunting tale. 12-year-old Edward V and 9-year-old Richard, Duke of York, were the sons of King Edward IV. When the king died, his brother Richard III had the boys declared illegitimate so he could take the throne. He had them imprisoned in the Tower in 1483. It is said that he had them killed as their right to the throne was stronger than his. It was a terrible place not only because of the many executions, but also because of the torture that was widespread in the Tower. Guy Fawkes and the Catholic priest John Gerard are among those known to have been tortured there. This image shows the rack, which was the most widely used instrument of torture, designed to stretch the victim's body, eventually dislocating the limbs and ripping them from their sockets. Today, when prisons have become more civilized and society more lawful, the Tower of London houses the Crown Jewels, a collection of royal regalia designed to show the British monarchy at its best. But unlike the diamonds, each stone in the tower harbours a story of ambition, betrayal and tragedy, and reflects the darker side of British history. The Crown Jewels were accumulated over centuries, and their sources of funding were varied and dubious. Some came from the sufferings imposed on India by British colonial rule, as well as from massive theft there. Britain was also the largest narco-state in the world in the 19th century and relied on the illicit drug trade to fund its operations. The royal court and blue-blooded families were among the main profiteers. When the Chinese Viceroy Lin Zexu wrote to Queen Victoria urging her to stop the transport of opium from India to China, which was having a disastrous effect on the Chinese people as they became the worst case of national drug addiction ever, his appeals went unheard. The revenues of the British drug traffickers took precedence, and eventually the complicit royal family also benefited. Britain has not compensated India or China for the historical injustices and exploitation during its colonial rule. That's it for today. If you liked it, please click on the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please do so. Also check out my latest video about the amazingly interactive and engaging FIFA museum, which showcases all the highlights of football history. Goodbye for now.